Jiang Aijin slapped his thigh and cried out without any hesitation. Deal. Lu Zhou was rendered speechless by Jiang Aijin's behavior, but he maintained a calm expression on his face. Jiang Aijin was overjoyed at this moment. He had collected many good swords in his life. There were swords with strange designs and patterns from a variety of grades in his collection. However, heaven-grade weapons were always the most precious. After all, heaven-grade weapons could only be discovered, not sought. He had always possessed an innate talent for gathering information. This job would not be difficult for him. After a while, he looked around the room before asking, Master, where did you put the she-villain? Lu Zhou barked. Get lost. Getting lost now. Before Jiang Aijin left the inn, he left Lu Zhou with a way to contact him. When he left the inn, he felt refreshed. He stretched his limb and smiled. However, a thought suddenly appeared in his mind. How long would I have to do this? It seems like we didn't discuss the time frame. Wouldn't it be bad if I have to do this for a lifetime? This is bad. Have I been duped? Will I be beaten up if I return to negotiate with him now? Inside the room, Liu Yuaner said contemptuously, What a shameless man. Lu Zhou said calmly, He's useful. Little Yuaner could tell that her master was tired. She half rose from her chair and said, I'll be taking my leave. After little Yuaner left, he did not go to bed immediately. He brought out the system dashboard and scrolled through them all. Under the avatar column, there were no changes. The only avatar he unlocked was the mighty 4 quadrants. In the cultivation-based realm, there was only comprehending the heavenly writing. He could only slowly improve it. There was no shortcut for this. He checked again to see if he had unlocked any weapons or cultivation methods. He willed the interface to change and discovered the weapons and cultivation methods column was still red. Lu Zhou wondered if this was due to his cultivation base being too low to unlock the weapons and techniques. He sighed in understanding. After all, Ji Tiandao was still in his prime when he accepted his disciples. He would have to take care not to follow in Ji Tiandao's footsteps. Lu Zhou wondered if Ji Tiandao had died because his life had reached its end and his cultivation base had regressed. However, since Lu Zhou had the reversal cards, he did not think he would have Ji Tiandao's problems. He would not repeat Ji Tiandao's mistakes. Saying that, he was left with one problem. He thought with a frown on his face, what would happen if I keep using the reversal cards? Will I have to crawl back into my mother's womb? That's no different from committing suicide. However, Lu Zhou's mood took a turn for the better. If he used the reversal cards every year as he aged, did it not mean he would gain eternal life? He thought to himself, this logic is flawless. After that, Lu Zhou pulled up the Heavenly Writings interface and continued his quest to comprehend it. Time ticked by as he immersed himself in the text, and dawn came without him realizing it. Lu Zhou had fallen asleep halfway through reading. When he woke up, he felt as though he had returned to his student days. Just as he was about to get off the bed, he heard hurried footsteps outside his door. The pitch of Zhao Shuo's voice seemed higher as he said urgently, And Master, please help us. The Evil Sky Pavilion's villain has already arrived in Runin City. He's raining down disasters on the public. Lu Zhou said nonchalantly through the door, Let him be. He won't do anything evil. Since he had entrusted Mingshi Yin with a mission, Mingshi Yin would be extremely bold if he dared commit evil acts at this juncture. Master, the villain is evil in nature, and he's notorious for his wicked acts. The villain had entered the city early this morning and hung 2 heads at the city gates. The citizens are too terrified to step out of their houses. The villain has a profound cultivation base. His speed and movements aren't something that ordinary people can compare to. I'm afraid you're the only person in Runin City who's capable of defeating the villain, Master. Lu Zhou shook his head and got off his bed. After doing some simple stretches, he felt much better. Finally, he opened the door. When Zhao Shuo saw Lu Zhou emerging from the room, he was overcome with emotions that he had difficulty stringing sentences together. After a while, he finally said, Master, please do something. I'm begging you on behalf of Runin City citizens. Lu Zhou remained silent as he stared at Zhao Shuo. At this moment, little Yuaner and Zhao Yu appeared. Master, Zhao Yu was dressed in plain white robes. different from the one she wore on the holy altar. "Let's go." Zhou waved his hand. Zhao Shuo called out tentatively, "My master?" "Come along." Zhou placed his hands behind his back and descended the stairs. When Zhao Shuo heard this, he was overjoyed. He hastily caught up to Zhou. He was certain this was a sign of Zhou's agreement to help. After Zhao Shuo had returned to his residence yesterday, he had listened to his subordinate's detailed account of the incident on the holy altar. When he heard about how Zhou was unaffected by the Temple of Great Emptiness Brahman lullaby, defeated the monk Kong Xian, and subdued the Shi villain, he was filled with respect toward Zhou. He did not want to offend Zhou at all. Hence, he sent a message to the palace and informed them that the royal token was in the possession of a senior Buddhist monk. He also told the palace that he was powerless to retrieve the token. As they left the inn, Zhao Shuo turned to look at Lu Yuan and Zhao Yu as he thought to himself, "This girl with the golden lotus between her brows must be the evil sky pavilion Shi villain." He nodded to himself as he continued his train of thoughts. The master's cultivation base is profound. With him on our side, there's no need to fear the evil sky pavilion's fort villain. Victory is in the bag. They left the inn and sped toward the east of Runan City in a horse-drawn carriage. Halfway through the journey, Zhang Aijin obstructed their path as he held a sword in one hand while the other hand held a half-eaten pear. He moved toward the carriage as he said with a smirk, "Master, I'll be tagging along." Zhao Shuo had a puzzled expression on his face as he asked, "Dear brother, we're going to deal with the villain. Aren't you afraid?" "Of course I'm afraid. I feel as though I'm going to die from fear. However, since Master is here, there's nothing to worry about." Zhang Aijin replied. Zhou stroked his beard and asked, "Do you have any news?" Zhang Aijin only smiled. Although he was shameless and crafty, he was truly skilled in obtaining information. Zhou did not care about Zhang Aijin's method of obtaining information, as long as there were results. He made a gesture with his hand for Zhang Aijin to come on board before motioning for the horse carriage to continue on its journey. Zhang Aijin stared straight ahead and said in a hushed tone, "Someone from the palace is here." Upon hearing this, Zhou remained silent as he stroked his beard. Zhang Aijin continued to say, "Someone from the palace is the mastermind behind the incident on the holy altar. I'm sure they're dissatisfied with you, since you foiled their plan. However, put aside your profound cultivation base. I don't think they'll attack a senior Buddhist monk no matter how displeased they are." Zhou nodded. The horse carriage rattled as it picked up speed. Zhang Aijin looked at the road ahead and said, "The evil sky pavilion's fort villain Mingshi Yin cultivated the Bluewood Heart technique. It's a troublesome cultivation method. His opponents will have a hard time subduing him. When you encounter him later, please don't hold back, Master. You should take him down with a single strike and not give him any chance to run away." Zhou said, "You seem to know a lot about the Evil Sky Pavilion." A confident expression appeared on Zhang Aijin's face as he said, "I won't hide this from you, Master." When Ji Tiandao was attacked by the 10 great elites, he paused for a moment to point at himself before he continued, "I was there." Zhang Aijin looked proud as he continued to say, "That was the battle of the century. 10 great elites. Half of them had 6-leaf avatars, and the other half had 7-leaf avatars. And yet, they still couldn't defeat Ji Tiandao, who had an 8-leaf avatar." Zhou was taken aback inwardly when he heard this, even though his expression remained calm. He, naturally, had access to this memory. However, he truly did not expect Zhang Aijin had personally witnessed that fight. Zhang Aijin continued to ramble on. The battle went on for 3 days and 3 nights. In the end, they only fought to a draw. The old villain, Ji Tiandao, was hurt. Even now, I still can't figure it out. How did the 10 great elites fail when they besieged the Golden Court Mountain after a month? Zhou did not continue with the topic. Instead, he asked, "You're afraid of him?" Zhang Aijin said with a sigh, "Ever since I witnessed that great battle, I swore to stay away from that man. He's too terrifying. How can a human be so terrifying?" Little Yuan quickly covered her mouth with a hand as a burst of small laughter escaped from her mouth. It did not take long before she began to laugh uproariously. Zhang Aijin did not think this was strange. After all, he was used to this young girl's ridicule. He decided to let her be. Zhou, you seemed at a loss. She did not know if she should be laughing right now. Halt! Zhao Shuo's voice rang out suddenly. The horse carriage skidded to a stop. Jiang Aijin leaped off the horse carriage. He was shocked when he saw the chaotic scene before him and the heads that were hung on the city gates. He exclaimed, "How cruel!" Zhou alighted from the carriage as well. He looked at the bloodied human heads. Zhao Shuo said with a deep frown, "The villain must be close by. I've already contacted several Divine Court Realm cultivators to search the area. We should be able to locate him soon." Zhou said, "The dead were mounted brigands." "That's not important," Zhao Shuo said righteously. "I'll do anything to capture the villain." Zhou turned to look at Zhao Shuo. He shook his head. It's meaningless to talk to him. A mocking and maniacal laughter suddenly resounded in the air. "You people think you'll be able to capture me? Dream on. The Evil Sky Pavilion's villain is here. I'm taking my leave." Jiang Aijin turned tail and was just about to run when Zhou grabbed his arm. "Don't be afraid." I'm not afraid." Jiang Aijin scratched his head. Several figures shot past the rooftops in the air. The maniacal laughter continued to resound in the air. "Here comes a villain." Everyone looked in the direction of the laughter. A man with peculiar eyes and flowing black hair, who was dressed in a white robe, shot toward them at high speed as he taunted and hurled insults at the cultivators around him. "Come on, come after me." Zhao Shuo's eyes widened in anger as he unsheathed his sword. "Whoosh!" Zhao Shuo said before he left. "Master, I'll leave the safety of Renan City citizens in your hands." Zhou looked at the incoming Mingshi Yin calmly. His eyes took in the cultivators who were chasing after Mingshi Yin as well. His expression did not change at all. Since Zhou was here, Jiang Aijin was not overly worried. However, he felt a bit strange since he was used to observing from afar as he hid in a corner. This was his first time observing out in the open. Mingshi Yin's laughter drew closer. "I'm getting bored." As soon as he finished speaking, he sped up, covering the distance of several hundred meters in just a blink of an eye. Nascent divinity tribulation realm. Jiang Aijin's words shocked everyone. Based on Mingshi Yin's speed, it was clear he was a nascent divinity tribulation realm cultivator. Jiang Aijin gulped. He felt diffident. As an early-stage nascent divinity tribulation realm elite as well, he felt those from the Evil Sky Pavilion were much stronger in comparison. As everyone looked at Mingshi Yin, who was charging toward them, Zhao Shuo cried out, "Villain of the Evil Sky Pavilion, die!" He slashed his sword in the air. His sword was shrouded with destructive energy as it slashed toward Mingshi Yin's face. Mingshi Yin laughed as he swatted the sword away with one hand. Bang! The sword shattered in just an instant. Mingshi Yin said smugly, "You won't be able to do anything to me with these techniques." Suddenly, he came to a halt as he muttered under his breath, "To that old man, looks like Master." Zhao Shuo stumbled back in shock. He thought he had incurred the villain's wrath and was now being targeted. This villain was someone who killed without batting an eyelid. He quickly retreated to Zhou's side. Zhou stroked his beard calmly. He could not blame his other disciples if they did not recognize him, since the reversal card had altered his appearance quite a bit. However, there was no way Mingshi Yin would not be able to recognize him. Mingshi Yin frowned as he studied Zhou. After a moment, his expression changed drastically. He quickly dispelled the energy around him and descended. Jiang Aijin hurriedly took a step back and unsheathed his sword. "This is bad. The villain is coming down." However, when he saw Zhou, he was baffled by how calm Zhou was. As soon as Mingshi Yin landed, he quickly ran over to the group. He cried out in excitement, "Master!" When he arrived before the group, he bowed before he lifted the hem of his robes with his right hand and fell to his knees with a thud. He said reverently, "This disciple pays respect to Master." Jiang Aijin and Zhao Shuo were baffled. Zhou stroked his beard before he waved a hand. "Stand up and talk." Mingshi Yin smiled modestly. His arrogance from earlier had completely vanished. Before Zhou could say anything, he asked carefully, "Master, didn't we agree to meet in like the clouds in? What brings you here?" Zhao Shuo's eyes widened in understanding as he quickly retreated to the side. He stuttered, Why you? Little Yuan said indignantly, Watch your mouth. See if I don't pull your tongue out if you keep offending my master. Jiang Aijin was stunned. This is great. Is it too late for me to run away now? Zhao Shuo's actions caught Mingshi Yin's attention as well. Being the quick-witted person he was, he rose to his feet and stood before Lu Zhou as he asked, Master, should I kill him? When Jiang Aijin heard this, he fearfully took a step back. Lu Zhou patted his shoulder heavily, and he fell to the ground with a frightened expression on his face. He waved his hands frantically as he said, Misunderstanding. This is all a misunderstanding. This has nothing to do with me. Can everyone just let me go and treat me like a fart? Little Yuan felt as though her anger had been vented as she said, Let's see how my master will deal you shameless person. Mingshi Yin turned around and looked at Jiang Aijin in confusion. He asked, Master, should I kill this man as well? Just how badly did Mingshi Yin want to kill another person? Everyone's attention was focused on Lu Zhou at this moment. Lu Zhou's expression was indifferent as usual. He glanced at Mingshi Yin and slowly said, You shouldn't be showing off like this. Mingshi Yin bowed and said, You're right, master. Lu Zhou asked, There's a rumor going around that you're abducting young girls. Is it true? Mingshi Yin fell to his knees again. He gestured with his hands as he said, I've been wrongly accused. It was the mounted brigands who abducted the girls. I was passing by coincidentally, and I saved them. I was meting out justice for the heavens and acting chivalrously. Not only was I not committing evil acts, but I was doing good. He emphasized the words, meting out justice for the heavens and acting chivalrously. The people in the surroundings frowned when they heard Mingshi Yin's words. Jiang Aijin was speechless. The villains from the evil sky pavilion are as bad as they come. Do you think people will believe that you were doing good? Mingshi Yin continued, If you don't believe me, master, you can send someone to investigate this. Things will be clear once they're investigated. Lu Zhou was not bothered about these things. He did not care if Mingshi Yin was doing good or committing evil. He would be happy as long as his disciples did not stir up trouble and cause havoc wherever they went like before. After all, he would not be able to clean up their mess every single time. General Zhou. Lu Zhou looked at Zhao Shuo. Zhao Shuo trembled before he lifted the sword in his hand. However, he realized too late that he had raised the scabbard in defense instead. This man was the most powerful villain in the world. Would a scabbard even protect him? What do you say if we leave this matter as it is? Lu Zhou's penetrating gaze sent another wave of fear into Zhao Shuo's heart. At this moment, the few divine court realm cultivators who were chasing after Mingshi Yin finally arrived. With the difference of one realm, their speed was, naturally, very different. General Zhao, we came just in time. Where's the senior Buddhist monk? The senior Buddhist monk in their imagination was a bald old man dressed in a kasaya. They did not notice Lu Zhou, who was the only old man present on the scene. Zhao Shuo coughed before saying softly, Retreat. Retreat. The divine court realm cultivators were taken aback. We can't. We've chased after him this long, just to stall him. We can't let him off that easily. Jiang Aijin wanted to cry. As he looked at the foolish divine court realm cultivators, he was reminded of his own foolishness as well. Mingshi Yin bowed and said, Master, these people refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. I ask that we teach them a lesson. The 5 divine court realm cultivators were dumbfounded. In truth, they were only stalling for time by giving chase. With their cultivation base, there was no way they would dare charge at Mingshi Yin. Even if Mingshi Yin's cultivation base was not at the nascent divinity tribulation realm, they still would not dare to do such a thing. When they saw the villain they had been chasing for half a day addressing this old man as master, they instantly knew who this old man was. Upon discovering this, they were even more frightened than Zhao Shuo. Their faces shone with sweat. Lu Zhou shook his head. Just give them a slap on the wrist. Yes, master. When Mingshi Yin looked up, he saw Zhao Shuo was the first person to run. Zhao Shuo ran as fast as his legs would bring him. The other 5 had no choice but to frantically run for their lives as well. Mingshi covered 300 miles with just a single step, leaving afterimages in his wake as he gave chase. Zhou turned around and looked at Jiang Aijin before patting Jiang Aijin's shoulder, looking like a grandfather patting his grandson. He said, "Don't be nervous.